The St. Louis Cardinals road trip began in Southern California. And what a start to this road trip for the Redbirds. They took 3 of 4 against the Dodgers. The trip shifted to Denver, Colorado, where the Rockies bats have come alive. And they have their first series win at home this year. The Rockies looking for a sweep. Fans filing in. Carlos Martinez going for St. Louis. Baseball comes your way next. This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Let's hope the rain stays away. Game number 3 between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Colorado Rockies. This road trip is featured 3 of 4. The Cardinals in terms of wins against the Dodgers, but they're trying to avoid the sweep here today against the Colorado Rockies. Jim Hayes is with us. That's Tim McCarver. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Big question mark for the Cardinals in the first 2 games of this series, Tim, no doubt, has been the offense, and they'll hope to get that going here today.
Only 6 runs scored, and 4 of those have been solo home runs. I think what the Cardinals and Mike Matheny's crew has to do today to have multi-run innings, and the best way to do that, bunch your hits.
We'll see if that happens here today. Carlos Martinez gets the start for St. Louis. Before our first pitch, we'll take a look at both closers in this series. Rosenthal, Axford, baseball coming up. .51 ERA. They're both at the ballpark this afternoon. The Cardinals' Trevor Rosenthal. John Axford, the former Cardinal, now closing games out for the Rockies. Picked up a save last night. He's 11 for 11 in save opportunities. These two are our T-Mobile game changers. Trevor Rosenthal, John Axford. Who gets the save in game number 3? We're about to find out. Big crowd, day baseball from Coors Field coming up. The perfect beer for whatever happens. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealers for great prices on our all-new 2015 vehicles today. Jim Hayes is with us. Tim McCarver, Dan McLaughlin, our entire Fox Sports Midwest crew. And away we go. The first pitch is taken for a ball by Colton Wong. And the Cardinals trying to salvage a game in this 3-game set. That's chopped foul. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Colton, his 22nd game in the leadoff position. And he's reached base in 16 games as a Cardinal leadoff man. Tim, you come to Colorado, you think you're going to see offense on both sides. 2 games, the Cardinals have a total of just 12 hits.
The Cardinals led the majors in earned run average coming in, and the Rockies were last. And here the Rockies have outpitched the Cardinals 2 straight games. Go figure. Can't figure this game out.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Look at Walt Weiss, the manager of the Rockies, and a very good breaking ball that this right-hander possesses.
Killer curve.
A look at Mike Matheny's lineup. Colton Wong, Matt Carpenter, Johnny Peralta, then Mark Reynolds, Randall Grichuk, Yadier Molina, Jason Hayward back in the starting lineup in right field, Peter Borges in center, and Carlos Martinez will bat ninth. Chad Bettis is 2-0 this year. Tough night for Carpenter, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts in game 2 of this series. Not only a tough night, but a tough road trip. 1 for 16. And a ground ball hit to the right side. Handled by Rosario. The high toss to Bettis in the out.
That's a good play on the in-between hop by Rosario.
Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense for the Rockies: Barnes, Blackman, Gonzalez in the outfield. Arenado, Descalso, the former Cardinal, at short. DJ LeMahieu at second base. Rosario is at first, and Nick Hundley behind the plate. So with 2 outs, it brings in the red-hot Johnny Peralta. Long opposite field home run last night. He's 8 for 22 on the road trip. Out to right center, but there's Charlie Blackman. So the Cardinals go in order in the top of the first, and there's no score from Denver. Road. They'll face Carlos Martinez. Here's their lineup: Charlie Blackman, DJ LeMahieu, Nolan Arenado, Carlos Gomez. Then you have Rosario, Descalso, Hundley, Barnes, and Bettis. Carlos Martinez, 6-2 on the year.
Only 1 run in his last 28 1/3 innings. Mike Matheny encouraging Carlos to back off the fastball. He's actually better throwing 92 or 93 than 96 because he gets more movement in the low 90s.
First start against Colorado in his career. 12th start this year, 13th appearance. And the first pitch taken high by Charlie Blackman. A 7-game hitting streak on the line for the Rockies leadoff man. You had the chance to visit with Charlie the other day.
I did, around the batting cage, and I told him how I admired his exuberance and just the way he carries himself. A guy that I think aids and abets any team offensively and defensively because of the way he approaches the game.
Ground ball that's hit to second, taken there by Colton Wong for out number 1. Here's a look at the Cardinals defense today. Grichuk in left, Borges in center, Hayward is in right. Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Reynolds along the infield. Molina behind the plate. That's presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
And of course, you know, then different generation. Charlie asked me, he said, "You do the Cardinal broadcast, huh?" I said, "Yes, I'm doing about 40 this year." He said, "Do you have a history with the Cardinals?" I said, "Yeah."
A pretty good one.
Yeah.
Pretty long, deep history.
Yeah. He said, "Did you play for the Cardinals?" I said, "Yeah."
But you're able to laugh about it.
Of course. That's part of the deal, man. That's the fun of it. I mean, you know, I'm 73 years old, and I mean, the game keeps me young. The game keeps us all young. One of the great things about it. Just one of the great things.
That's what Red Shane-Dienst always says. People ask him, why do you still come around the ballpark? Why do you dress out? That's a base hit for DJ LeMahieu. Cardinals can't figure this guy out. That ball into the corner and a one-out double, but Red's answer always is, young people keep me young. Hyundai pitch arsenal for right-hander Carlos Martinez. Fastball, sinker, slider, and changeup. LeMahieu is now 7 for 10 with 3 doubles and 2 RBIs against the Cardinals.
Man. Well, we talked about it last night. The Cardinals have been working him away, and what do you know? Carlos Martinez comes out, tries to pitch him inside, and he doubles down the left field line. First ball hit down the left field line of his hits in this series.
Tulowitzki is on the bench, normally their number 3 hitter, so it's Nolan Arenado. And he's 3 for 9 with a pair of home runs, 4 RBIs in this series. Playing in career game number 300 today for Nolan Arenado. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Leads the club in home runs and RBIs. Good numbers with runners in scoring position, but overall 15 home runs. And he's now second in the National League in RBIs with 47.
That's 18 ahead of the place. And the guy who's placing is on second base right now with 29 RBIs. It's a pretty big gap, isn't it?
Sure is. 2-0 the count, and Molina out to visit. I know you're not a big fan of these types of visits, are you?
Well, no, but I mean, you know, if there's a purpose for it, of course. You don't want to go to the mound so often that all of a sudden the meetings become less important. When you go out there, you want it to be important.
In that case, it may have been Martinez that called out Molina. Here's a 2-0 pitch on its way.
Well, the worst thing a pitcher can think about is the guy on second relaying signs and all that sort of stuff. You get that in your head and you're really messed up. Try to keep it as simple as possible. Work fast, change speeds, throw strikes.
The 3-0. Swinging away and a backhanded stab by Carpenter. Nice play. Advancing LeMahieu from second to third. So Arenado swinging on 3-0, and Carpenter takes a hit away.
The only guy who could have made that play was the guy who hit it. Nolan Arenado. I mean, that was a terrific play by Carpenter. Tough hop. Gets his balance. Forget about looking the runner back at second base. Not important with 1 out. LeMahieu goes to third alertly, but big thing, and Matt knew that, was to get the out.
Here's Carlos Gonzalez. He's reached base safely in 20 straight. 4 for 8 in the series. Ground ball right side. Diving stop by Wong. And he keeps this game scoreless.
Look at this.
What a play by Colton Wong.
Both sides of the infield. First Carpenter, then Wong. Wow.
Colton Wong ranging to his left on the outfield grass and robs Carlos Gonzalez. No score after an inning of play. lineup back on May 27th after the injury to Matt Adams. He's hit .279 in that time with 5 RBIs, and he'll lead it off here in the top of the second. Great defense by the Cardinals in the bottom of the first. Tim, your former teammate has penned a article today in a Philadelphia newspaper, and that's Mike Schmidt. And the article was about the shift. His point, and you see the shift here with Mark Reynolds, he said especially with left-handed batters, is that organizations are going to have to change their mindset, and it's now a part of the game. It's the everyday norm that you're going to have to learn to bunt against the shift, learn to hit against the shift, because now you're seeing it used so much in the minor leagues. Really interesting to hear from a guy that's hit 500-plus home runs and how he feels about this. As Reynolds pops it up. That high sky, and LeMahieu puts it away for the first out.
Cardinals played the infield for Carlos Gonzalez to pull straight away in the outfield, and this is the reason they play him to pull. The shift wasn't on, but Wong, we mentioned last night, Wong has a better feel for balls on which he goes to his left or to his right. It's the balls right at him that he seems to have more problems with.
There's Randall Grichuk.
Well, if you try to go against the shift, if you're a guy like Mark Reynolds, then the shift has been successful, because what you're doing is you're taking away from your strength. Mark Reynolds is a pull hitter with all the home runs he's hit throughout his career. So if you go the other way, they got you.
Taken high by Grichuk, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Randall with 23 hits this year, 13 have been extra base hits.
If, for instance, on a shift, you hit a meager ground ball the other way and you're a power hitter, then the shift has worked.
However, what if you get on base?
Well, you've got to get on base a lot. I mean, you're not being paid. Mark Reynolds is not being paid for on-base percentage. He's being paid to hit drive runners in, particularly now that Matt Adams is out of there.
Ryan Howard comes to mind, and obviously making $25 million to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Fastball, very good curve for Chad Bettis. The changeup and slider, the Hyundai pitch arsenal. Rockies have won all 5 of this 26-year-old starts. As Molina fouls it back in his last 23 1/3, he's given up just 3 earned.
That's something that's come into prominence more in the last few years. How many starts does his team win? I think it's very important, because even if he doesn't get a decision in a game, he's pitched well enough to give his team a chance to win.
And both these guys have done that here today. As I mentioned, Rockies have won all 5 of his starts. And that's popped up. Cardinals are 9-2 in Martinez's starts. Taken there by Descalso. 6 up and 6 down. No score. with the Cardinals slugger.
Yeah, first time we had a chance to talk since he suffered that grade 2 quad strain. Matt told me when it first happened, he thought it was actually much worse than it was. He thought it was a full tear instead of a partial tear. Matt told me the quad is feeling better. He says he can walk fine, but it's sore. He says, quote, the true test will be running whenever that happens. He told me short term, they'll let it calm down and rest it. He also says 48 hours after he initially hurt the quad, he thinks the outlook is much more positive. But, Dan, like the Cardinals, Holiday is staying away from any timetable for his return.
All right, Jimmy, thanks. Willeen Rosario, the first baseman for the Colorado Rockies, will lead it off. It's a huge loss any way you want to look at it, with Holiday not in this lineup and a team that is struggling offensively.
No doubt about that. I had that injury, Dan. We were talking about it last night. I had it in 1975. And I'm not playing doctor here, don't get me wrong, but the only thing that helped it was straight leg lifts with weight on the ankle. Like start out with 5, get to about 20, straight leg lifts religiously every day. And that healed it. An orthopedic surgeon in Memphis, as a matter of fact, told me how to do that, and he said this will help heal your quad, and it did.
Holiday keeps himself in remarkable condition. 35 years of age. Nasty pitch there from Carlos Martinez. Let's turn to Tim McCarver's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, we talked about bunching hits and that being the best way to have a multi-run inning, and if the Cardinals do that, it will be a happy flight to St. Louis tonight.
Happy flight, term coined by one Rafael Furcal back in 2011. He was part of that championship team, and so was Daniel Descalso. Signed a 2-year deal in the offseason with the Rockies. 2 years, nearly $4 million. 5 seasons with the Cardinals. And he has started at every position this year on the infield for Walt Weiss's club. At shortstop is where he's been at his best in terms of filling in for Tulowitzki. He's hit over 400 as a shortstop this year. Hits it the other way. And there's Randal Grichuk for out number 2. Going back to Holiday for a moment as Nick Hundley will dig in. You'll see the fly out off the bat of Descalso, but talking with Matt the other day, he's got another year on his deal and then an option that he hopes the Cardinals would pick up. And I said, what about baseball beyond that? And he said, with a young family, I'm not sure, which is the first time I've heard him say that, because before he has said, I'd like to play till I'm 40, maybe 41. And again, he keeps himself in condition to do that, you would think. But he said one way or another, he'll keep his hand in the game of baseball. He loves it, grew up around it, and has had a tremendous career. Inside to Nick Hundley, who's hitting .301 with 5 home runs. He's driven in 20. Think about this Little League team that Nick Hundley was on. He grew up in California. As a 12-year-old, his teammates, Ryan Braun, James Shields, and this major leaguer, Nick Hundley. It's a pretty darn good team.
But that was a winning ball club.
I would say so. The 2-1 pitch. Yanked down the left field line and foul.
That's the thing about Hundley. 2 observations. He had 13 home runs in San Diego 2 years ago. Everybody knows how tough that ballpark is, Petco Field in Southern California. And he learned his pitch selection calling, which is excellent, from Bud Black.
Manager of the Padres, former pitcher, longtime pitching coach.
You think about the history of the game, and you can't name on 2 hands guys who have been pitchers and managers.
2-2, reach for it, deep in the hole, and a base hit. So an infield hit for Nick Hundley.
I think the reason for that is pitchers, for the most part, don't have any idea about position players, and they need strong bench coaches. They need strong everybody but a pitching coach because they were pitchers.
It seems like the theme now is to go with guys that don't have a ton of experience, if any experience at all, and a number of the managers right now in the game are former catchers.
And the reason catchers make good managers is you're seeing every position before every pitch. For any time you flash down fingers, subtly or otherwise, you're watching the center fielder shift. You know where the left fielder and right fielder are, all the defensive positions, especially the middle. I mean, with Yadi Molina, he's almost a manager right now without any experience. His experience has come from behind the plate.
It's lined foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Walt Weiss, former big leaguer with Oakland, Miami, Colorado, Atlanta. He's a former special assistant to the GM and was the high school baseball coach at Regis Jesuit High School when he was offered the job to become the manager of the Rockies. He was telling us before the game he really leans on Tony La Russa, at least prior to this year. A lot of late-night phone calls to Tony. There's a strikeout in the second in the inning and second in the game for Carlos Martinez. We head to the third, and there's no score. Here on Fox Sports Midwest. And remember, Fox Sports Midwest and the Cardinals bring you Mizzou Night coming up on July 17th. Cardinals take on the Mets. You get a Mizzou theme ticket at cardinals.com/theme. Get a limited edition Cardinals hat. Tickets, wear your black and gold. And head to cardinals.com/theme. Here's Jason Hayward.
Have a chance during that 3-game series to see one of the finest young pitching staffs in the game, too. Half a game in front of Washington. Washington tied with the Yankees as we speak in the 8th inning in New York.
Terry Collins can't hit for that club.
No.
And I just wonder if he'll be able to see that thing through. I think he deserves the chance to.
I do, too.
Some lean years waiting for Harvey, waiting for DeGrom. Syndergaard, and they were no hit last night. It's the kind of team, if they get into postseason play, they would scare you because of the pitching.
No question. Have to tidy up that bullpen first, though.
2-2 the count on Hayward. Since May 5th, he's raised his average from 224 to 251. 4 for 17 on the road trip. Borges on deck, and then Carlos Martinez. Here's a 2-2. Third strikeout for Chad Bettis.
Chad Bettis perfect through 7 back on May 29th in Philadelphia. Perfect through 7. Had a no-hitter into the 8th inning. Actually perfect through 6, retiring the first 18 to face him. Good curveball. Gets Hayward.
Home run by Peter Borges last night in the 8th inning, measured at 454 feet. Longest by a Cardinal this year. You're wondering, the longest home run hit this season overall. Giancarlo Stanton, no surprise there. 484 feet, which is 5 days ago here at Coors Field. For Peter, it's his 23rd start. And when he starts, he's hitting around 300. (3-0). Chad Bettis, native of Lubbock, Texas, was originally drafted by Houston, 8th round of 2007. Did not sign. Played collegiately at Texas Tech. And the first Rocky from the 2010 draft to make his big league debut for the club back in 2013.
From the Red Raiders to the Rockies.
Here's a 3-1. Chop to Arenado. He's playing in and makes the play. Reminder, the MLB All-Star balloting is still open for fans. You can vote up to 35 times on the 2015 Esurance ballot. And you can vote now at cardinals.com/vote. We mentioned last night there are 11 players from the state of Missouri right now that would be a part of the All-Star game. We'll see the Royals on Friday night as they come to St. Louis. Carlos Martinez with 2 outs and nobody on. He's hitting .091. Very tough road trip for the Cardinals offensively. On this trip, the 4 in LA, the 2 here in Denver, the club hitting .206. Then you lose Holiday, and that complicates it even more.
Well, what would have complicated it even more in Los Angeles had the Cardinals not come back in those 2 games to win on Friday and Sunday nights.
Martinez, the first Cardinal hit.
Third hit of the year for the ex-shortstop. Signed as a shortstop till the Cardinals saw his arm on a consistent basis and whoa, you're in the wrong position.
He has hit 98 on the gun today. He's got that live arm. What's interesting about Bettis is that the Rockies last season tried him as a reliever. Had an ERA over 9 before being demoted to the minors. And then they moved him back into the starting rotation in the minor leagues.
Organizations have to show young pitchers that they have enough confidence in them to start them. Because too many young pitchers are in a state of turmoil because they don't get starting assignments throughout the minor leagues. Placing them in the bullpen, pitching in the bullpen in the major leagues. He was set back with an arm injury to his shoulder in 2012 did not pitch that year.
Bettis actually went to the pitching coach, Steve Foster, and also Darren Holmes, who's the bullpen coach. That name may ring a bell. Darren Holmes was with the Cardinals at one point. And they had 4 consecutive throwing sessions in which all he did was throw fastballs.
Forget the curve, right.
They were looking for movement and location. Throws hard, but as you know, Tim, at this level, you can throw 200 miles an hour. These guys, if it's straight over the middle of the plate, they'll knock it out.
Well, velocity, I'm not sure if most fans really think that, but velocity is way down on the list of getting guys out. Occasionally you blow it by a big league hitter, but these guys, if they're looking for a fastball, they can hit balls 100 miles an hour. Doesn't matter. Supply their speed. Not always, but movement, location, change of speeds, all of those things, more effective ways of getting guys out than just trying to throw it through the barn door.
Martinez, your runner at first base, off with this pitch. We know he's got good speed, a ball in the gap, and who knows. There he goes. And that's hit out to right field. Martinez on his way to third. Quickly, Gonzalez getting it back into the infield. Back-to-back singles for the Cardinals.
That was a hanger. Colton Wong would love to take his chances on this pitch every time up. Right up in the happy zone. Not for Bettis, but for Wong.
Well, here's Carpenter. Came up in a key spot last night with runners at first and second. Cardinals down by a run, nobody out. He struck out, and the Rockies then got out of the jam. A chance here now with runners at first and third and 2 down in the top of the third. I don't know about you. I was surprised to see Carpenter in the lineup.
A bit, yeah. But the Cardinals have had such a tough time scoring runs. How do you keep him out with an off day tomorrow? I think that's what Mike's thinking was.
And the way I was thinking of it is, all right, you get a 2-for-1, so to speak. Off day today, tomorrow. We've talked about the issues that Carpenter's had this year, staying fresh. But he's in there.
And last night he looked that way. He looked. Well, of course, when you strike out 4 times a game, first time he's ever done that, you're not going to look fresh, to say the least.
This is where Matt has been so good in this spot. 452 with runners in scoring position. He lifts it down the left field line and out of play. First time up, grounded to first. He's 0 for 1. That's a base hit into left center field, and the Cardinals have a lead. And Wong aggressive. That ball was bobbled, and Carpenter takes advantage and winds up at second base.
Wong was responsible for that error on the left fielder, Brandon Barnes. Aggressive base running by Colton Wong. What Wong did, he gave Carpenter a chance to go to second base. So it was either first and third or second and third, and because of the error by Barnes, then Carpenter has a chance to take a wide turn and then decide to go to second base. It's good base running by the Cardinals.
Here's Peralta. That ball gets away. Wong will score. 2-0 Cardinals. The base running comes through.
I was going to say, Dan, that's why the base running was so aggressive by Colton Wong. A lot of guys will not run through the bag, but to the bag. Wong ran through second base, ended up on third, and scores on a pass ball by Hundley. I assume it's a pass ball.
And Carpenter advancing to third base. 2-0 Cardinals here in the top of the third.
Bunch your hits.
It's what you talked about in the open. The Cardinals have done that with 2 outs here in the top of the third. Single by Martinez, single by Wong, and a single by Carpenter. That's a good major league hitter backing up from that breaking ball. You don't see guys back up like that very often.
It's a pretty good indication of how sharp it is.
2-1 pitch.
Cardinals are 3-3 on this road trip. The 3 losses, they never scored more than 1 run. So it could be a good omen with 2 in this inning. A cricket number, as the players say.
The 2-2. Peralta with that long home run to the opposite field last night. His 10th this year. That's now 11 straight seasons with 10 or more home runs. 7th in the National League in hits with 69. And a walk to Peralta. It all began, looked to be a pretty easy inning here for Chad Bettis. He got the first 2, Hayward and Borges, and then a single by Martinez. And the Cardinals have bunched these hits together, and now a walk. And the pitching coach out to visit, Steve Foster, as he came to Colorado, spent the last 2 years as a special assistant to the GM in Kansas City.
That's a term, by the way, that you hear in a lot of dugouts in the major leagues. Bunch the hits. Bunch them. Talk about the home run all you want, but as we said earlier, Cardinals have scored coming into this game 6 runs in this series, 4 with solo home runs.
They saw very good pitching last night from Jorge De La Rosa. Picked up his 72nd career win. He's now tied with Aaron Cook for the most wins in franchise history. That pitch taken low. Reynolds popped out to second, first time up. The shift is on here. It's not as pronounced with the runner at first, so LeMahieu, second baseman, on his side of the bag. Positioned perfectly. He'll make the play. Cardinals strand 2. They pick up 2. And my partner Tim McCarver talking about the key in base running. Here's Wong, no hesitation, with a base hit to left. Then scores on a wild pitch. 2-0 St. Louis. Cardinals take on the Padres And that's Saturday, July 4th. 25,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a one-of-a-kind camouflage print Cardinals jersey, courtesy of Ford. And tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions. So Martinez now with a 2-run lead as we move to the home half of the third. Chad Bettis, Charlie Blackmon, and DJ LeMahieu. One ball, one strike. I beg your pardon, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now 1 ball and 3 strikes.
I like that.
Had to catch up. Third strikeout for Carlos Martinez. His last time out, you may remember, he had 11 strikeouts, 7 innings against the Dodgers. And Carlos is averaging 10 strikeouts per 9.
In that game, the Dodgers had a 1-0 lead, bases loaded, and 1 out. And then that beautiful double play, a 3-6-1 double play with Martinez covering. And after that, over 6 innings, the Dodgers got 1 base runner, a walk. So Martinez retired 17 of the last 18 batters he faced.
You never know. In this game, you may go back to the first inning and look at those defensive plays standing out.
Oh, yeah.
In the afternoon before it's all said and done for Carlos. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Charlie Blackmon. Grounded out to second base, his first time up.
The one thing you like about Martinez when he's going well is he works fast, and that gives the defense behind him a chance to make the plays much better than a guy who's wandering around, slow pace. Martinez gets the ball and throws it.
2-2, pulled foul. Last year, Charlie Blackmon just feasted on fastballs, and then the league caught up to him. He saw a lot more breaking balls. The Cardinals have tried to do that here in this series as well. You've seen more breaking balls against him than the fastball. The changeup has been very good this year, especially against left-handed batters. Get this one. Base hit for Charlie Blackmon. BJC Healthcare difference maker and Carlos Martinez. What he's done the last 5 starts, he's 3-1 with a .84 ERA.
Martinez motioning for Molina to come out again. This is the second time in the game that's happened.
So 1 out base hit. And in steps LeMahieu. Doubled down the third base line back in the first inning. Blackmon is a threat to steal. 13 stolen bases this year. 5th best in the National League. Billy Hamilton with the most. He's got 25. Oh my goodness. Almost knocked Reynolds over.
It did knock him over.
98 coming at you.
Whoa. It's too early here at Coors Field to determine whether the sun had a problem like it is at 5:30 at night.
It is brutal on a first baseman with those 7 o'clock starts.
Blackmon had a fake break at first base, had ideas about taking off. You're less inclined to do that when you're trailing by 2. You don't want to run yourself out of an inning. But you're right, Blackmon with great jumps at first base. He takes one of the longer leads of anybody we've seen thus far.
Martinez a look over, 2 balls, no strikes.
That was close. Another thing, when you're thinking about Walt Weiss and whether to put a hit and run on a situation, when a guy's hitting like LeMahieu, you don't put a hit and run on. You want him to choose his pitch.
The 2-0, not running, it's a strike. So LeMahieu with the double back in the first, 7 for 10, 3 doubles in this series. And he's hitting close to 400 at home, best in the National League. Didn't see this coming when he was a Chicago Cub.
No. He's worked hard.
Give him credit.
Make himself a good hitter.
Not running, and it's a fly ball to right field.
Finally got inside on him. Michael Wacha trying to do that last night. There it is right there. That tailing fastball in on the hands ties him up.
You know, we have numbers and stats for everything, and it shows you with his hit chart. You go inside on him, he hits about 225. And as you talked about, he loves going the other way. Middle of the plate, just like most big leaguers, he hits well. He's around 500. The other side of the plate, outside, 370. 7th best in Major League Baseball. There's a fly ball off the bat of Arenado into shallow center and taken there by Peter Borges. Good work by Martinez. We are through 3. 2-0 St. Louis. It was Carlos Martinez in the top of the 3rd with 2 outs, a single. Wong a single to right, and Carpenter a base hit to left. That made it 1-0. And then Colton Long scoring on a wild pitch to make it 2-0. So all that done with 2 outs. Randall Grichuk on the first pitch, pops it up into shallow right. There's Cargo. That is a major league pop-up right there.
I was thinking the same thing. That ball had some hang time. It's one of those paraglider pop-ups.
A paraglider pop-up. It's a new sabermetric term. First 8 batters went 0 for 8, and since then, Bettis is running into problems here with this lineup of St. Louis. As Molina singles to left, he's 1 for 2. Chevy Fox Tracks as Yadier Molina picks up his first hit. He's second in the National League among catchers in hits this year.
Look, fastball, look, balls down the middle. Nothing tricky about that. Going up guessing fastball, got it, base hit. Do hitters guess? I guess they guess.
We know they guess. I guess. Hayward fouls it back. Not a bad crowd here today. I think at one point they had 203 consecutive home sellouts. And it was broken in 1997 in Game 2 of a doubleheader played against the Cardinals. Their opening day at Mile High, over 80,000 fans, 80,227. And that year, 1993, they drew 4.4 million. That's incredible.
Pretty good investment.
Nice play. LeMahieu to second for 1 as they get the lead man. What an outstanding play. LeMahieu to Descalso to get the lead runner.
That would have been first and third for the Cardinals because that ball was headed into right center field. Winning his first Gold Glove last year, and that's a particularly difficult play because he had to backhand the ball using his 6'4" frame, all of it. And then that awkward throw to second, they almost turned 2. What a play by LeMahieu. That'll be replayed on the MLB Network.
You bet. Descalso is a former pitcher and closer in college. He has a tremendous arm. And he showed it there. Nearly turned 2, and the speed of Hayward made that close. Peter Borges grounded out to third, first time up. So 2 outs. Hayward is the runner at first. Not saying, Tim, the Cardinals would do this in this spot with 2 outs and the pitcher on deck. But you wonder, with the lack of offense, no Matt Adams, no Matt Holliday, will Mike Matheny be more aggressive? Stolen bases.
Should be. You got a 2-run lead. You're more aggressive when you're ahead.
And not just today, but maybe even in a general sense,
sure.
too.
Sure. Right here, you'd give Walt Weiss the choice of whether to walk Borges, pitch to Martinez, or pitch to Borges.
Hayward
good base
advancing.
running. Nice going, partner.
Now we'll see that choice. He does have Borges at 1 and 2.
Yeah, I doubt, that they'll go ahead and pitch to him right now because they've got him in the hole. But good base running by Hayward. Second aggressive play by the Cardinals. Actually, the third, with Wong going to third and Carpenter, the trail runner, going to second base. Now Hayward.
Big gap in left center. And a 1-2 pitch. Borges yanks it down the left field line and foul. Can't find it, but Hayward staying put.
Sometimes things happen that are just funny. I mean, Rosario, that ball was in the dirt. His first look was up. Why is the ball going to be up? Just reaction play. That can be just a terrifying position at times.
You would know.
Yes. Subhuman in many ways.
Here's a 2-2. Does make you appreciate the consistency of Molina.
Unbelievable.
Day in and day out. 467 innings caught now. You include the 3 today, most in all of baseball. 10+ years. Hayward back safely at second. Three-two pitch on its way. Instead, another check on Hayward. Big lead by Hayward at second base. And that's in the dirt. So Carlos Martinez has a chance to help his cause here today. He's already singled. He's 1 for 1. Second walk issued by Bettis.
That was a good at bat by Borges, going 0-2, then 1-2, 2-2, 3-2, walk. Now, at the very least, you clear the pitcher. But with that said, Martinez with the first hit for the Cardinals today.
And not just today, the first hit the Cardinals had in the first 3 innings of any game this series.
Wow.
Runners at first and second, and with 2 outs trying to bunt his way on. I was watching Bryce Harper yesterday with 2 strikes, try to bunt his way on and struck out. With 2 strikes, Bryce Harper bunting. That's inside.
Some things in baseball you just don't understand, Dan.
Oh, I understand that part of it. It didn't make any sense.
You understand the not understanding part of it.
I'm telling that to the wrong guy on that particular instance. Here's a 1-1. Inside. Boy, Bettis was cruising in this game. Retired the first 8, and then it was Martinez single in the third that got things going. 4 hits and 2 walks in that time. The 2-1 pitch popped up to the right side. Rosario over, out of room. 2-2. Cardinals are trying to avoid their second 3-game losing streak, and they have not been swept in 83 3-game series. The last time it happened was July of 2013.
July 13th, 14th, and 15th of 13. That's remarkable.
It really is. 2-2. Strikeout of Martinez. 4th today for Chad Bettis. Cardinals strand 2. They've stranded 4 today. St. Louis midway through 4 with a 2-run lead.
Colton Wong going to third base on a ball where a lot of guys would just hold up. Matt Carpenter following, and then Wong scored on a wild pitch. Should have been scored a pass ball in our view, but Cardinals scored a run nonetheless, and then Jason Hayward going to second base on a ball in the dirt.
I know those are little things you watch out for. That's what wins you games.
They're very, very important. And again, you run the risk of beating it to death, but you do not have to be a fast base runner to be a good one.
And a strike to Carlos Gonzalez from Venezuela. His father used to take him to the Winter League games. He would always imitate the stance of Bobby Abreu. You could see that a little bit in his stance that he has now.
A little bit, yeah. Bobby finally retired after last year. He played, I think, 53 years in the major leagues.
He was actually 53, 2 months and 5 days, but no big deal. Boy, he was a good player, though.
He certainly was. Great career.
Shift on here for Cargo. He's told the story many times, but he's very proud of the fact he grew up. He used tree branches as his makeshift bat, rolled up socks for baseballs. That's how he learned to play the game. And this time he beats the shift. Hayward will fire in from right field. And it's a leadoff double for Carlos Gonzalez. He's now reached base in 21 straight games, and that is a career high.
I tell you, that ball hit by Gonzalez went through two guys, Mark Reynolds and Colton Wong. It was hit so hard they couldn't react in time. And even had Wong made the catch, there's nobody to cover first base. That ball was scalded.
Willeen Rosario struck out swinging back in the second. They're trying to figure out a way to get his bat in the lineup. He's had his issues defensively. He is now 7 for 17 on this homestand with a pair of homers. Rosario was optioned back on April 22nd. He has been their top pinch hitter, though, as he's come back. Fly ball, right field. Hayward gets himself in a position to throw. Cargo will stay put. One away. Big out.
Sometimes just the threat of a good arm is enough to hold a runner close.
Here's Descalso, who lined out to left. Former third-round pick of the Cardinals back in 2007. We were talking with Daniel the other day, and he knows his role, which is to be, ready at any point in time, play any position, but be on a National League club. Double switches. And he said that the guy that really influenced him in this role, Skip Schumacher, who's now with the Cincinnati Reds. Best influence, he said, he's had in terms of trying to be a major leaguer, extend your career, but do it in this role. Two balls and no strikes. It's slowly to the right side. There's Martinez. And the tag. How about that? How about that?
Back pedal, back pedal, back pedal. Watch.
This is funny.
Back pedal, back pedal, back pedal. Try to get you. It's like going back to street ball, isn't it?
Getting a rundown, doing anything you can.
Yeah.
Gonzalez advancing to third. Here's Nick Hundley. Had an infield hit left side. First time up, he's 1 for 1. Lifted down the right field line, slicing foul and out of play.
I remember the Roy Campanella line that you got to have a lot of little boy in you to play this game, and that was an example, I think, of two former teammates having a lot of little boy in them.
Oh, 0-1 pitch to Hundley. Popped up. On the outfield grass, Colton Wong. He's there. Leadoff double. Gonzalez left stranded. We head to the 5th. Cardinals on top 2-0. Lead, top of 5, and the top of the lineup: Wong, Carpenter, and Peralta.
One of the nice stories in the game that we heard the other day, that is Blake Doyle, the twin brother of Brian Doyle, that you may remember for the New York Yankees back in 1978. Starred in the World Series, even though Bucky Dent was the MVP. Brian Doyle was a close second. Older brother Denny Doyle, a former major leaguer.
Wong out to right. There's Carlos Gonzalez.
And Blake told me that Brian beat cancer, lives in Atlanta, beat cancer, and now has contracted Parkinson's. And the New York Yankees, with all the criticism of the Yankees being big and bold and kind of the General Motors of the game, don't they forget their former players? On the contrary, with Brian Doyle, they're having a day for him this year, and all the proceeds will go to the Parkinson's Foundation. Terrific story.
Blake Doyle, third hitting coach in the last 3 years, by the way, for the Rockies. They've had 5 different hitting coaches in the last 7 years. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Here's so many horrible stories, not only in this country but internationally now, with the world on point. It's kind of nice to report a story like that.
I know Rob Manfred, in visiting with him last week in St. Louis, he wants to make those stories known. He wants to make sure the public understands what baseball is trying to do. There's a base hit against the shift with 2 strikes. They shifted on Carpenter. They say the Rockies have shifted more at this point this year than they did all of last season. Carpenter is 2 for 3.
And he's back to his stroke. Base hit to left field, base hit to center field after striking out 4 times last night.
There's Johnny Peralta, who is lined out and also walked. Cardinals in a stretch of 15 of 20 on the road. They're one of 3 National League teams to have a winning record away from home. St. Louis, San Francisco, and surprisingly the Rockies. They were atrocious last year away from Coors Field. The Cardinals start play today 16 and 14 on the road.
Dan, to put a lid on that Blake Doyle story, his older brother, Denny Doyle, was involved in one of the more unusual plays in World Series history. As the base runner with 1 out in the 1975 World Series, Game 6, 2 innings before, Carlton Fisk hit the famous home run. He tagged at third, and George Foster, the left fielder, catching a ball in foul territory, threw out Denny Doyle at home plate to end the inning. I beg your pardon, that was the second out. But had Denny Doyle been safe, then Carlton Fisk doesn't go down in history as trying to push that ball fair that he hit off Pat Darcy in the 11th inning. Dick Stockton with the call.
One of the great scenes
man,
in sports history. To catch that angle of Fisk.
Oh, yeah, and a World Series that a lot of people said brought baseball back to a little swale in which it was in.
1-2 the count here on Peralta.
I don't know about bringing it back, but it certainly didn't hurt the game.
Gave it a boost.
It gave it a boost. Little booster shot. And then the Reds, of course, winning on the Joe Morgan hit against Jim Burton in Game 7.
Then in the late 70s, you had the Yankees come back to prominence, which is big for baseball to have a large market team do that.
Beating the Dodgers 2 years in a row, 77 and 78.
Strikeout number 5 for this right-hander. Best way to find seats, StubHub. Even at the last minute, even if it's sold out. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. It's a good story, Tim.
Yeah,
you like to hear teams doing things to benefit those that played for them or the fan base. Here's Mike Reynolds, who is 0 for 2. Reynolds smokes it into center field. Blackman is back. He won't get it. It's off the base of the wall. Carpenter racing to third. Relay to the plate. He is safe, and Reynolds will advance to third base on a throw that gets away. 3-0 Cardinals.
Initially, the Cardinals hoping that ball short hopped the fence. But what it did, it hit the fence, that padded area, and bounced right back to Charlie Blackman to give the Rockies a chance to get Carpenter at home. But the throw was awry, and Reynolds goes to third. I would think that would be a throwing error on Daniel Descalso.
So double air RBI. Second air on the Rockies today.
And Matt Carpenter with 2 outs, off with the sound of the bat. Even with a good throw, I don't think Matt would have been out at home, but you don't know.
A pitch in the dirt, kept in front by Hundley. 2 balls, no strikes. Randall Grichuk 0 for 2. He is struck out and flied out to right. Cardinals will enjoy the off day tomorrow. Kansas City in town over the weekend. Just a 5-game homestand coming up. It's one of those odd interleague series coming up. 2 with the Minnesota Twins at home, then 2 on the road.
4 games in 2 different cities.
Yes.
In the home cities.
I believe Tuesday's a day game. A Tuesday day game at Busch Stadium.
Making it easier to go to Minnesota for that Wednesday and Thursday nights.
The 2-1. 2-2 the count. And a swing and a miss by Grichuk. 2 strikeouts in the inning and 6 today for Chad Bettis. 2-out RBI double for Reynolds. 3-0 midway through 5. Autograph nights coming up Saturday, June 13th. 2 current Cardinals will sign in the Ford Plaza for fans 15 and under. 2 former Cardinals will sign for fans all ages. For details, visit cardinals.com/promotions. 8, 9, and 1 in the lineup as we move to the bottom of 5. And the Cardinals have a lead of 3-0. Brandon Barnes struck out looking first time up. Learning on the job, and that's what's happening here, and watching Carlos Martinez improving start by start.
And we talk about confidence so much too, Dan. Not only is the arm strong, but the mind's in the right place too.
He doesn't seem as jumpy to me.
No, he doesn't. Relaxed.
And a base hit into center.
As we say that, Carlos goes down on the mound and got to be concerned in the Cardinal dugout. It's the one thing Mike Matheny said, whenever you see him flailing to the left after a delivery, it's not being contained, but he'll do that occasionally. Appears to be all right.
This is Kyle Parker, the pinch hitter. So that'll be it for Chad Bettis. And Parker takes a pitch inside.
Carlos Martinez trying to avoid the temptation of trying to do too much. It's very, very important.
Eddie Butler was optioned to make room for Parker, who was the starting QB at Clemson back in 2009 and 10. Also teammates with Ben Paulson on the baseball team. Clemson connection. Reynolds giving chase and out of play. Find it interesting in the 5th to pinch hit for Bettis?
No, not down 3 runs.
Bullpen is rested right now for the Rockies too. They're wrapping up a 10-game homestand, and they'll head to Miami after the ball game this afternoon.
You know, with that said, Dan, if you're a number one starter, manager's not going to pitch hit for you in the fifth inning. But when you're number four guy,
yeah, different story.
Yeah.
A swing and a miss. A good fastball there from Martinez.
It's a matter of a pecking order. I mean, there are certain privileges that guys get when they're the number one guy.
Rockies are playing much better baseball right now. At one point, they had an 11-game losing skid. Since that time, they've gone 16-11. They're out of the cellar of the West. Ground ball hit left side. Backhanded by Peralta, and safe at second base is Barnes.
By the time Johnny got to that ball, and it appears Barnes, he walked off the bag. Interestingly, he was safe. It looked like he may have jammed an ankle or a knee. But by the time Johnny Peralta got to that ball, he was in no position to put anything on it on the throw to Wong at second base.
These bases do not have give.
No.
I mean, they are in the ground by about a half-foot peg.
I'll tell you, had Colton Wong come back and made that tag, at the time, Barnes was off the bag.
He's out.
Yeah. Watch him come off the bag after the slide. And Wong, of course, is trying to get the force call. So he's looking at the umpire and not the base runner. It's a tough play to have the wherewithal to come back because you're going toward the outfield when you make that play and you're trying to sell it to the second base umpire.
Here's Charlie Blackmon, who led all leadoff men with 69 RBIs from the top spot a year ago. He has 20 driven in this year. He's 1 for 2. Runners at first and second, and Barnes stays in the game. So he'll stay in the game. And that pitch taken outside. Blackmon, an all-star a year ago. Did not go. 2 balls, no strikes. Pair of hits to start this inning. The bottom of 5 for Colorado. The 2-0. Fouled back and a good cut. You look at some of the odd stats that happen in the game of baseball. Last year, Charlie Blackmon went 5 for 5 or better 3 different times. That's only been done by a handful of players, and it's a who's who of baseball history. Ty Cobb, Tris Speaker, Stan the Man, Tony Gwynn, and Ichiro, and Charlie Blackmon. The 2-1. 2-2.
How about those 5 players? Talking about good company.
Yes. Whew. Mentioned last night that Blackmon was drafted 3 different times, twice as a pitcher. And he decided not to sign as a pitcher, wanted to be an outfielder, played at Georgia Tech, and now in the big leagues. And now a strikeout for Martinez. That's number 4.
That was a changeup in the right spot at the right time. After 4 straight fastballs. Take a look at the pitch by pitch. The first 2 pitches missing poorly. Then a foul ball. Then a foul ball. And watch the changeup. Blackmon would love that 2-0-2-1 pitch back. Either one.
You know, Tim, what separated Martinez this year is his ability with runners on to pitch out of trouble. That's up and in to DJ LeMahieu, who's 1 for 2 with a double.
Yeah, we talked about that Dodger double play, that 3-6-1 double play in the second inning at Los Angeles before Carlos retired 17 out of 18.
Tim, he's retired 86% of the batters that have come up with runners in scoring position. That's third best in all of baseball.
What a great note that is. Wow.
That's how you win games. 1-0 pitch to LeMahieu.
Yeah, you hear that term clutch hitting all the time. You rarely hear the term clutch pitching.
He was so good coming out of the bullpen as an 8th inning guy. Devastating slider, a changeup that has been evolving over the last couple of years, but now it's really good. The 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Inning started with a single by Barnes to center. Parker, the pinch hitter, infield hit, strikeout of Blackman, and now a 2-1 pitch to DJ LeMahieu. Chopped up the middle, double play ball. Wong steps on the bag. There's your double play. We played 5 here in Denver. 3-0 St. Louis. Previous pitch to him was up, and they get the double play.
So this is something new in baseball. You want the double play, pitch him up. We're making history at Rocky Mountain High on this otherwise subtle, boring Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, this isn't boring.
Oh, I know that. No, I don't mean the game. Otherwise. I said otherwise.
Otherwise, yeah.
Oof. Took myself off the hook there.
Because I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
No, I didn't mean the game was boring at all. I meant that it would be boring were it not for that nice double play turn on the high fastball.
Now I
the double play ball. All you need is that high fastball to get them on the ground, right?
Here's Christian Bergman. First time we've seen him in this series. So he's got the 6th inning here. It's Molina, Hayward, and Borges. I was going to say, I have never heard you say a baseball game is boring, and I'm serious.
No.
You
love
love
won't
it
either.
Me neither.
I'm addicted like you.
I love it.
Gotta love it.
There's just so many things that happen in the game that make it as interesting as it is. And the strategy last night was terrific.
It really was.
Late innings, what to do.
I mean, there are writers that call it a cerebral game. I don't know that it's that, but it's so much fun to when you see good baseball and you see base running, and you know you're not out there. Some days you see home runs or great plays by Arenado, or in the first inning, Colton Wong ending the inning, like Matt Carpenter for the second out, Wong with the third out on two great defensive plays. There's so many elements to the game that make it fascinating. And that's why all of us keep coming back.
2-2 pitch. And there's a single for Yadier Molina. 2 for 3. Well, we'll see the Kansas City Royals come to town, and it's interleague play beginning Friday night. We'll have it for you right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Our Budweiser What's on Tap. Good matchup, game one. Jaime Garcia, Yordano Ventura. Here's Jason Hayward, and a strike all 3 games this weekend on Fox Sports Midwest. For instance, you talk about why we love the game so much. You watch the Kansas City Royals. If you appreciate defense, you'll see it. Yeah, speed. That's out of play.
Bullpen.
Kansas City at the start of play today. A game in front of Minnesota, the American League Central Division. The Cardinals started 6.5 in front of Chicago and Pittsburgh.
Houston Astros, the biggest story in baseball. Of course, they're in the American League, but the second biggest story, a close second, the Minnesota Twins.
Agreed. Paul Molitor. Here's a 1-2. Chopped to the right side and taken there by Rosario. And he gets Molina at second base.
How can that happen? Now here's a guy who has trouble behind the plate catching the ball down, and he makes a spectacular play going to his right. I think the interesting thing is had he not caught that ball, it may have hit Molina. Nothing Molina could have done. He had to stop to wait for the play to be made because of that, because of the chance of him being hit. Fine play by Rosario.
Peter Borges at the plate. Bettis 5 innings today. 3 runs on 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, and he allowed 2 walks. Borges is 0 for 1 with a walk. In on his hands, good pitch. Foul back for strike 2.
How important was it for these two teams to get this game in? Rain all around us. But the Rockies don't have an off day tomorrow like the Cardinals do. Cardinals return home tonight. Can relax a little bit tomorrow, but the Rockies travel to Miami with a fuel stop in Alabama. Now, in this day and age, you kidding me? You can't take a nonstop flight from Denver to Miami? ¿Qué pasa?
Well, you know, you're living in the state of Florida, right?
Yes.
You can hop on that charter, maybe make a nice trip home tonight.
And maybe get off in Alabama and find my way back to Sarasota. No, thank you.
No, thank you, huh?
No, not going to happen.
Just an idea.
No. Bad idea.
Trying
Real
to help
bad,
you out.
Dan. Real bad.
Trying to help you out. Get you back sooner.
Oh, man.
Popped up. Right side. LeMahieu near the line and makes the play. Edward Jones, pleased to sponsor the Hall of Fame and the annual induction process that gives fans a vote in honoring the team's greatest players. And that induction class has been selected. And it's Curt Flood, George Kissel, Ted Simmons, Bob Forsch. That event in August is open to the public. We hope to see you at Ballpark Village for the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Christian Bergman. He's a 24th round pick back in 2010. First big league action was a year ago. Just think you can cuddle up next to Walt Weiss.
Quit it.
Talk strategy. Tough play here for Descalso as Martinez beats it out in his second hit.
That matches his total of the year. He was 2 for 22 coming in. But when a shortstop has to go to his right, no chance to get the speedy Martinez.
Here's Colton Wong, who struck out in the first inning, singled in the third, and lined out to right. Here's the 0-1. Runners at first and second. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cardinals jumped out to a 2-run lead after 3 innings, tacked on a run in the 5th, and lead it 3-0. 8 hits for St. Louis. Pickoff and back in safely. It's Hayward. I'm assuming your flight tomorrow will at least get you to the state of Florida direct, or at least close. Yes?
If we die, we have to go through Atlanta.
Okay. So now I know.
Or when we die, not if.
Well, then get on that charter tonight, man. That's living.
Your job is over as my private personal secretary.
You didn't like our transportation last night back to the hotel?
Well, it was different. And that's the first time I've ever been in a rickshaw. Well, I guess they're rickshaws with the bicycle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bike shaws, maybe.
It was great, wasn't it?
Felt like I was in Bangkok.
Here's a 3-2. And Wong breaks his bat, and LeMahieu makes the play. Midway through 6, 3-0 St. Louis. This is how great it is. You can take a photo at the new Lulu the Cow display at any Ice Cream Sundays event or while visiting Busch Stadium to win Cardinals tickets or a party suite. Kia in the driver's seat, a look at Carlos Martinez. Martinez so far here today is through 5 with no runs allowed. Lowest ERA since May 10th. He has the best. Martinez, Archer, Cole, Sale, and Bauer.
I think Molina out there because Carlos Martinez ran the bases in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah.
With that infield hit he had. Squatting like that. Well, that's the thing about sprinting down to first base. When you're a pitcher, you hope didn't tweak a hamstring or something like that.
A couple years ago, we were in Miami, and it happened with Joe Kelly, who could really run like Martinez. Here's Nolan Arenado, chops it up the middle. Peralta can't get to it. Base hit into center field. Well, Carlos has done a little bit of everything here today. Carlos has allowed now 7 hits. He has struck out 4, but he's also, Tim, made a difference at the plate. 2 hits for Carlos Martinez.
Yeah, who would have thought, as you brought up earlier, that a 2-out base hit, the first hit for the Cardinals after 8 in a row were retired by Chad Bettis, would lead to 2 runs.
And it brings in Cargo, who was robbed back in the first by Colton Wong. Beat the shift with a double back in the 4th. Cardinals have turned 1 double play, a big one in the 5th, 4-3. Colton Wong over to Mark Reynolds. And a 1-0 pitch. Good changeup.
Just watching Colton Wong out there, he can see the signs Molina is giving. And on changeups, Martinez and Molina backed up changeups, changeup on the first 2 pitches. And Wong cheats toward the hole just a bit. Sometimes it's fun to go to the ballpark and watch the middle infielders who are getting the signs. Another changeup, 3 in a row.
And he was moving. Wong was to his left
right.
there.
Saw that.
Let's see what he does here. Keep an eye on Colton Wong.
Another changeup. 2 steps to his left.
Well, that's a good pickup, and that's interesting to watch because also, as Wong was moving to his left, Peter Borges started to move to his left as well.
Peter Borges' signs are the middle infielders for the most part.
Right. And who knows, didn't see it at the time, but a diving play by Wong. He may have been moving right before that pitch back in the first, and it saves a run.
Sure.
Now he's staying put. And there's the fastball at 97. The game within the game. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Ground ball to Wong, and nice play to get the lead man.
Making sure, too, with 3-run lead, forget about any semblance of a double play ball. The ball wasn't hit that hard. Colton very deliberate in his throw to Peralta at short. Fastball, playing him straight up. Boy, he's got quick feet, doesn't he?
I really notice his feet on the turns at double play.
Oh, sure.
The second base. Willeen Rosario is struck out and flied out to right. Gonzalez has attempted 3 stolen bases, has 2 steals. Lots of room to the right side for Willeen Rosario. Chopped foul. Find myself now, I can't keep my eyes off a Wong and seeing what pitch is coming. I mean, he basically stays put with the fastball. And then you'll see him off-speed pitch, move, depending on who's up there, lefty or righty. If it's going to be pulled. Stays straight up here.
Well, because he's closer to second, he's the guy who gives the glove signs. Glove signs meaning you see a middle infielder put the glove up, give an open mouth, closed mouth. Open mouth is you cover, but with Peralta playing him to pull, Wong's taking everything. Ball back to the pitcher, Wong's covering.
Two strikes on Rosario.
Folks have heard of pillow talk. This is glove talk.
But that happens, you know, especially for our younger viewers watching and how middle infielders act.
How they communicate.
Yeah.
Taking the sign off the, for instance, if it's a breaking ball, a tip to Peralta to play him a step to the right because it's more likely to be pulled.
Two and two. Right-hander throwing in the pen right now for the Rockies. Two-two lifted in the air down the right field line and slices foul out of play.
This will be a slider or fastball. It's going to be a fastball away.
Double play ball. Nice pick by Peralta. The turn by Wong. 6-4-3. The communication up the middle. It pays off. Double play. Second turn by the Cardinals. next. It's the Gateway Honda home run inning. If a Cardinals player hits a home run, the Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Tim, we were doing the game in New York in which Randall Grichuk had 5 strikeouts, and then the next night he comes out, has a couple of great plays, extra base hits. Well, last night, Carpenter, 4 strikeouts. He's come back a 2 for 3 day. So just tells you, you know, one day it's going bad, the other day it's going good. You have to put those days behind.
Well, it can turn on you in a hurry or turn good in a hurry. Speaking of something that has not turned good, Ben Paulson, that slide in the second base, jamming either a knee or an ankle, and he's been replaced in right field. I beg your pardon. Brandon Barnes has been replaced with Ben Paulson.
Carpenter checking on that last pitch to see if it was a strike. Home plate umpire is Todd Titchener, and he says, yes, sir. And that's pulled foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Carpenter pulls it foul to Chris Maloney. Nice play. So Carpenter's had a great day. A couple of hits. And maybe half the seats.
I don't understand the Rockies on this shift. I mean, a guy like Carpenter is more apt to hit the ball to left field with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
And yet with 2 strikes, Walt Weiss employs the shift against him. I don't get that.
But how about the sunflower seeds of more importance? Maybe got half of them in his mouth, I guess.
After a 9-inning Major League Baseball game, that's the fewest innings that can be played in a complete game, right?
Right.
The dugout's enough to make you sick, as Gilda Radner would say. As Rosanna Dana would say, Dan, it's enough to make you sick.
It looks like a tornado went down there. I mean, it's just disgusting.
Disgusting.
But that's part of being in a Major League dugout. Now, Tony La Russa, he used to go by and kick all the cups and also the seeds if he could to keep it clean. That was the way that he kept his mind, you know, off the game to an extent. Relax.
No, I've never heard that story.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
If you go back and watch, and you did a plenty of his games, you would notice him kind of walking around his little area. It was always very clean by Tony. Just the oddity of Tony La Russa. He'd like to keep that clean. I don't blame him. I mean, it's nasty down there.
It's enough to make you sick, Dan.
2-1 the count on Peralta. You got the cups, you got seeds, you got gum. There's spit all over the place. Well, it's true, Tim. You know that. I mean, baseball guys like to spit. It's just part of the rite of passage, I think, to get into baseball.
You're right.
I mean, people ask me, why do guys spit? I don't know. But every guy does.
Nervousness.
Probably.
Sometimes you're trying to get moisture to spit.
Thank you. Right on cue. Three-two pitch with 1 out. Tapped foul again. The siege, you got the gum. 3-2 pitch. Peralta went down to get it, and a base hit out to left. Plaza Tire Fox Tracks. Johnny went down to get this and picks up a base hit.
Like a little cutter. Johnny with great reach. He's shown that with 2 strikes. Talk about Carpenter being a good 2-strike hitter on this road trip. Peralta has done everything with 2 strikes. Line drive down the right field line, down the left field line. Great plate coverage.
Cardinals have a hit in 5 of 7 innings played today. Mark Reynolds with a double back in the 5th. Picked up an RBI, his 18th. The miles per hour. The ball off the bat of Reynolds back in the 5th, 111 miles per hour as it went 416 feet. In the hole, 0-2. It is cooled off here at the ballpark. The wind is picked up and the clouds are rolling in. Here's a 1-2. 2-2. Reynolds has worked the count full. Second inning of work for Christian Bergman in relief of Chad Bettis. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Runner goes. Swung on and missed. And a double play. Time to stretch here in Denver. Cardinals on top 3-0. Daniel Descalso. Martinez still in the game. And the first pitch taken high for a ball. Daniel 0 for 2. He is lined out and grounded back to Martinez. Carlos hit 88 pitches. And Descalso Hits it out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. The changeup taken outside. How about Martinez here, Tim? Had trouble in the first. He has struck out 4. He's got 2 double plays to get out of jams. And again, no runs allowed.
Double play his friend once again. And just think about it. Dodger Stadium, his last start, it was the second inning where he was in trouble. Today, it was the first inning, 1st and 3rd and 1 out. 2 great plays by Carpenter and Wong. When you throw ground balls, you give your defense a chance to make the plays.
No walks today. The 2-2. Breaking ball just missed. Cardinals picked up 2 runs in the 3rd and 1 in the 5th. They lead it 3-0. A 3-2 pitch to Daniel Descalso. Leadoff walk. Not what he wanted to do. Join Fox Sports Midwest at Ballpark Village for the World Cup watch parties. Cheer on Team USA for the exciting action Friday as they take on Sweden. We'll be at Busch 3 with games, mascots, and giveaways. World Cup watch party Friday at 6 at Ballpark Village. Nick Hundley and then Paulson on deck. Descalso, not much of a threat to steal. 1 stolen base this year. Segrist is up and so is Manus. You see a visit like this, you just don't know if he's buying time for the bullpen. If indeed they wanted to go over this situation with Hundley, who's 1 for 2 with an infield hit. Or maybe a little bit of both.
Well, it's my opinion that you speed up the game with no visits to the mound. 1 visit for a manager to make a move, compulsory, and nobody else on the mound during the game, ever.
One-zero pitch. There are players that feel the same way too. I've heard a lot of players talk about that.
I have too.
And their thought process is, don't worry so much about stepping out of the batter's box, but you know, when you add up the time, the amount of times that Molina or any catcher goes out, you know, you're talking 3, 4, 5 minutes in the game.
That's right. That's right.
1-1. Just missed. 2 balls and a strike.
That's what half innings are when you're not on the field. That's what they're for. Talk about that stuff after the inning's over. Slider just missing. Actually, it missed more than I thought originally.
2-1.
Term has played the game. Don't talk the game.
Well, I also think it disrupts the flow to an extent of a pitcher. Now, there are times you want to see a guy slow down, but more times than not, they're in the flow of the game.
Right, right. Remember, it was Ray Miller who came up, work fast, change speeds, throw strikes. For all young pitchers, if they want to stick to the mantra of the game, work fast, throw strikes, change speeds.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. Now 3-2.
And the point is, Dan, that you can't work fast if there are meetings all the time. That's
Exactly.
the flow. That's the cadence. That's the rhythm of pitchers.
I just looked out at the infield. You got Wong with his hands on his hips. Peralta's playing with the dirt, and Carpenter has his glove off.
Name a pitcher in the Hall of Fame that works slowly.
Not
you
many.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't know about the guys that played 100 years ago.
Ground ball hit to third, taken on a short hop, out at second, and Wong taken out at the bag by Descalso. That's just clean baseball there.
Good play by Carpenter, making sure of one again. A fine throw to Wong. Colton hanging in there, but as you said, a clean play by Descalso. It's part of the game.
That's clean.
Yes, sir.
And you know Daniel, who was so popular while wearing the Cardinal uniform, and in particular with middle infielders, is not doing anything to try to be overly aggressive or dangerous.
No way.
That part of the game has changed so much, even in the last 10, 15 years, breaking up a double play. You just don't see guys go very hard out at second base. This is Ben Paulson now. Good changeup.
Well, if the ball's hit sharply to an infielder in a double play attempt, it's got to be hit sharply right at a guy to have a chance.
First plate appearance for Paulson, took over for Brandon Barnes. Shook up on a play at second base. Paulson 3 for 8 in this series. And the 1-1. Rafael Inoa, the switch hitter, is at the on-deck circle.
I think Ben thought that ball was outside, and I think he had a point.
Here's a 1-2. Seen more pitches up this inning than we have, and maybe a byproduct of being a little tired.
Yeah, the arm doesn't get tired, the lower body, and he's been on the bases twice tonight or today.
A short lead at first from Hundley, and a 2-2. Foul back. Oh, I saw those reactions coming back with you.
You'll see those reactions all the time from me. I don't want to get hit by a ball. I've already given
enough.
That ball was above us.
Hey, I saw it.
Well, you're going to see it again. If anywhere near me, I'm gone. I don't protect you. I don't protect Dan Hyatt. I'm out of here.
That's well hit in the left center field. Will it carry out of here? It does. A home run opposite way. Just stuck the bat out, and it carries out of here. A 2-run shot, and the Rockies right back in this game.
I cannot believe that ball left the park.
I cannot believe it left the park either. When you talk about a ball that carries, look at this. Now, how does that get out?
Didn't even hit it on the fat part of the bat or the sweet part. And Martinez probably looking back saying, why did I throw that pitch? You can't second guess yourself on a ball like that. Ball's off the plate.
I think he also is reacting to the fact that, like us, he couldn't believe that carried out of here.
Right.
So here in the bottom of the 7th, 106 pitches. It'll be a double switch. Segrist had been getting loose. Pete Cosmo will come in, part of this double switch. And the Cardinals will go with Segrist. They want the lefty here. The switch hitter was at the on-deck circle. We'll square it all the way when we come back, but a home run for Ben Paulson. Rockies get on the board. It's now 3-2 St. Louis. Now 3-2. Rafael Inoa, the pinch hitter. Remember, still on the bench for the Rockies, Troy Tulowitzki did not start today.
In a 3-run game, that's not a big deal. In a 1-run game, it's a very big deal.
He's swinging one of the hottest bats for the Rockies, riding an 8-game hitting streak. 0-2 the count. Hyundai pitch arsenal for Kevin Segrist. Fastball, curve, changeup, and slider. Off to a very good start here in 2015. And a strikeout.
Morning, afternoon, good night. 3 fastballs to get Inoa.
Carlos Martinez records an out in the 7th. And another good outing for him. Here's Charlie Blackmon. Blackmon with a single to right back in the 3rd. He struck out and has grounded out. Right-hander getting loose in the pen for Colorado. The Cardinals double switch with Cosma coming in to take over for Peralta at short. So while you improve defensively, you certainly lose a dangerous bat out of this game.
Yeah, that's true. But in the process, perhaps you're saving one of your pitchers in the bullpen.
Here's a 1-1. And a fly ball lifted to center field.
You know what I'm thinking right now? I'm thinking Trevor Rosenthal in the 8th inning.
Thought crossed my mind. If not just a 1 inning save, maybe 1+, maybe even 2.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. We head to our studio in St. Louis. Pat Paris standing by with a Bommarito Sports Update. Tommy Canely, our Chevy call to the pen. Let's get you caught up on what's happened here today. 3-2, the Cardinals with a lead in the 8th. The Mazda game summary. Martinez 6 1/3. Matt Carpenter's 2 for 4. Bettis 5 innings, the starter, and Paulson a home run.
Cardinals have played 21 one-run games this year. They're 11-10 in one-run affairs.
See how Mike Matheny wants to play the bottom of the 8th. Obviously, it'll depend on a lead, but what happens here in the top half. But you've got Segrist. You can pitch your 8th. Manus is rested, ready to go, and then potential of beyond a one-inning save for Trevor Rosenthal if we get to that point.
Knowing how important this game is to stop the skid, mini skid.
Here's a 1-1 to Grichuk. He's struck out twice and flied out to right. 0 for 3. Been a tough road trip for Randall. 3 for 20. 10 strikeouts. Does not turn 24 until August. And a high fly ball lifted out to deep right center. That baby is out of here. Opposite field home run. Randall Grichuk, his 3rd of the year, 11th RBI, and it's a 4-2 St. Louis lead.
That's the teasing of Randall Grichuk. You mentioned earlier that those 2 games in New York where he had the 5 strikeouts and then the brilliant game the night after that. Well, a couple of strikeouts today, 0 for 3, and then boom.
I think it's the best word that's associated with him, intrigue. I mean, feast or famine a lot of times too.
Right.
He's now had 24 hits this year. 14 of them have gone for extra base hits.
You talked about it in game 1. That you had talked to. The Cardinals want more consistency. Well, the guy who wants more consistency than anybody is Randall Grichuk. Mm-hmm. Of course the Cardinals do.
On 3-0. Molina looks at a strike.
Should be $100 an hour for a batting coach and a pitching coach. Psychologist.
Forget the physical part of it. Just
100 an hour, I think that's about the going rate.
And a nice couch.
They serve, nice couch. They should have a couch in every dugout.
Right.
No question.
Sit down, let's talk things over.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, take me back to your second at bat. Visualize something happy. And then boom! And then you got to boom! Wake him up. That's how it's done. Here's a 3-2. And Molina strikes out. I don't think I'd make it as a coach.
Well, I mean, you don't want to be repetitive, seriously. I mean, you don't want to continue to preach the same things, even though there's a lot to learn through repetition in the game. But being a sounding board is often how pitching coaches and hitting instructors, what they really are, what their jobs are.
1 out, nobody on. Hayward looks at strike one. And then just knowing how much information that you want to give, because you don't want to complicate things,
right?
Especially when a guy is spiraling the wrong way, and you're sitting there saying, "Okay, he's already thinking a million different things." That's a fair ball inside the third base line, and down into the left field corner, and a double for Jason Hayward.
Even though the Rockies were playing Hayward to pull, that's a double in any man's language. Just inside the bag at third base. See how much space between the third baseman and the third base bag.
So a home run, a double, a strikeout mixed in between, and now Peter Borges, who has walked, popped out, and grounded out. Canley, Rule 5 pickup last year from the New York Yankees. He is out of Division II Lynn University. Oh, 2 pitch. On a hop to short. Descalso across the diamond for the out. Staying put, Hayward at second base. Part of the double switch was Pete Kozma, now in the 9th spot in the lineup. He'll come up with 2 outs. Kozma's average at 104. 0 for 2 in this series. Runner at second is Hayward.
When your average is that low, you have to play for an organization that understands. Put in a lot of double switches, one at bat a game. Tough to hit like that, but Mike Matheny understands. So does John Mozeliak. On the other hand, use it as an opportunity to drive in a run. Big run out there at second base.
You know, the Cardinals have seen him play every day as a shortstop. If something would happen to Peralta, at least you know defensively you'd be covered with Kozma. Obviously would not replace Johnny in the offensive departments that he's put up big numbers in.
Is it tough to play like this? Absolutely.
Your at bats are scattered. You don't know when you're going to play.
Right.
Three 3-0 the count with 2 outs and Colton Wong on deck. 3-2. And a walk for Cosmo. Wong has struck out, singled to right, and scored part of a 2-run third inning. Lined out to right and popped out to second.
We saw Christian Friedrich originally in game 1. I mean, why wouldn't you make a move? And Walt Weiss does not appear to be of that thinking.
And it's not just this lefty. You've got Carpenter on deck.
Right.
Runners at first and second. Pitch to Wong. Hit slowly left side. Arenado off balance throw and makes the play. Randall Grichuk with home run number 3 this year. Opposite field shot. 4-2 midway through 8. LeMahieu, we've talked about it all series long. He's been so good in that department. 31 of them. DraftKings.com, enter promo code CARDS. LeMahieu, Arenado, and Carlos Gonzalez. There's that purple stripe in the upper deck. It adorns that row in the upper deck. The elevation of 5,280 feet, exactly a mile high. That row of seats. Mile High Stadium, now a parking lot, which is adjacent to the new Invesco Field where the Broncos play. Here's an 0-2 pitch. Taken high and outside by LeMahieu. Doubled down the third base line. Is fly to right, then grounded into a double play. Cardinals turn 2 with Carlos Martinez on the mound.
With Todd Helton retiring last year, I don't suppose Peyton Manning graces the ballpark here that much anymore since his buddy retired. Number 17, what a player. Future Hall of Famer.
I think it's interesting the cases of guys like Larry Walker and Todd Helton and others that will come along that play significant amounts of their careers. There's a strikeout at this ballpark, and how voters will look at that potential of inflated numbers by hitting, half your career at this ballpark.
Well, if you're going to do that, then go back to Ebbets Field and talk about Duke Snider, or Pee Wee Reese, or Roy Campanella, or guys that are in the Hall of Fame because of a small ballpark. Can't just, have that thinking for a modern day park. You have to go back through the Hall of Fame, and everybody knows. I mean, Todd Helton couldn't help the fact that he was playing for the Rockies. He took advantage of it. Numbers are numbers. I mean, I understand that a lot of people don't feel that way. That, at least, is my opinion.
Here's Arenado.
It's like I guess a field goal kicker for the Broncos that can perhaps kick a 60-yard field goal with ease, like other guys kick a 45-yard field goal maybe. And because it's rarefied air, he doesn't make it into Canton.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Starting to rain now here at the ballpark. Strikeout of Arenado. Good work here by Kevin Segras.
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, he has been terrific. 4 strikeouts, make that 3 strikeouts of the 4 hitters he's faced.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Some of the fans heading for cover. Here's Carlos Gonzalez. Cardinal with a double back in the 4th. 1 for 3. What we were told is when it starts to rain, it's supposed to rain through Sunday here in Denver. 0-2. Got him, and a strikeout. He strikes out the side.
Magnificent.
And Matt Carpenter will lead it off. And here's the lefty now. We were wondering where he was to face Wong in a move that paid off. Chevy called to the pen, so Walt Weiss will have Friedrich start the inning. It'll be Carpenter. Then Tony Cruz is moved to the on-deck circle. And Mark Reynolds.
Just cannot say enough about Kevin Segrist and the dominating performance he had, retiring all 5 batters, 4 on strikeouts.
You know, Tim, you go back to 2013 when the fastball was around 95, 96, which is where he's got it now. It didn't matter, righties or lefties. You know, Mike Matheny would use him for a full inning, any matchup. And I mean, he was just lights out. We're seeing signs of that again this year. 2 balls, no strikes.
There aren't many left-handed pitchers where it doesn't matter. And baseball's thinking is
shallow center off the bat of Carpenter for out number 1.
Baseball's thinking is that if he's a left-handed pitcher, for the most part, particularly if he's in the bullpen, he gets left-handed hitters out and that's it. And you have to change their minds. And Kevin Segrist has done that with Mike Matheny.
There's Tony Cruz. So Walt Weiss is going to make a move, it looks like, here. So did not want Friedrich for Wong, but wants him for Carpenter. And will he go to the pen here? He will. So pitching change here for the Rockies. So Chevy called to the pen. Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Brooks Brown comes in. 22nd appearance. You asked a good question during the break. Was Tony Cruz announced? I don't believe he was. And if Mike Matheny wanted to, he could pull back Cruz here and use
save
Jay.
him.
Yeah.
And save him and use Jay. Yeah.
But he elects to use Tony Cruz. 1 out, nobody on. A light rain here at the ballpark. And a 4-2 St. Louis lead. Rosenthal is loose and ready to go for the bottom half of the 9th inning. And on the hands of Tony Cruz. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals trying to pick up win number 39 here this afternoon.
Hard to say what a big game is in baseball. I mean, you play 162 games. I think as opposed to big game, I think in baseball there are a series of big games. And this is one of those games with the Cardinals before the off day, going back home.
The fly ball into center. Blackman makes the catch sliding.
Another good play by the Rockies center fielder, Charlie Blackman. But you know, I think you'd make a case for today because of the tough losses, the power barrage in the first game, and then a one-run game last night.
Coughing up a lead late.
Uh-huh.
And you sit on it, too. I mean, you've got as you mentioned, the off day tomorrow. You mull it over. If you get a win, it just calms things down.
The trip back home is nice and comfortable instead of frenetic. Those are among the reasons why this is an important game for St. Louis.
Reynolds, a double and an RBI, 2 outs, nobody on. That double was back in the 5th. And a fly ball to Blackman again. So we head to the bottom of the ninth. St. Louis 4, Colorado 2. Rosenthal coming on. Cardinals have some mainstays now that they have developed these pitchers through the draft. Manus, Harris, Rosenthal, who's come in now, and Kevin Segrist, amazingly a 41st round pick in 2008. This guy's a good one. Chevy called to the pen, takes us to Trevor Rosenthal.
Yeah, that bullpen for the Cardinals has been a breastwork of perfection this year, second only to the Kansas City Royals in earned run average. Trevor has just been sensational.
19 saves for Rosenthal this year. He's had issues at this ballpark, but many have. That pitch at 99.
He's a different pitcher this year, though.
He's rested. You know, I mean, you look at how they're using him, it's different. Drew Storn with 18 saves, Melanson with 18, but Rosenthal, the league leader, at 19. First pitch was at 99, that one at 98.
We've talked about it as much as his stuff. It's from the neck up this year. I mean, his rhythm, the way he's carried himself.
Rosario, hard hit ball to third, and Carpenter makes the play. First man retired.
It could be as something as small as a guy's walk, the way he comes in the game. Does he carry himself and look like he's holding back? As in my opinion, last year Trevor did, and this year it's almost a devil, not a devil may care, but it's just different.
Descalso falls behind 0-2. That pitch at 100 miles an hour. If you're Walt Weiss, you're thinking get one man on and give Tulowitzki a shot.
Yep.
Light rain here at the ballpark. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Descalso is lined out, grounded out, and walked. With a changeup on the 2-2, now it's full. May have chased a ball. As Rosenthal is checking on the mound, may have slipped a little bit too. Lack of walks has been big for Rosenthal this year. Control has been much better. At home, he's been much better. At an ERA that was over 4 at Busch Stadium last season. Tulowitzki is in there in the dugout. I'm sure he's been swinging the bat and ready to go if called upon. He's got a bat in his hands. Here's a 3-2 pitch. And a strikeout of Descalso. So there's 2 outs, nobody on. And Carlos Martinez is our Budweiser player of the game. 6 1/3, 8 hits. Also a couple of hits at the plate. Our Budweiser player of the game. Nick Hundley is the final hope for the Rockies. One ball, 1 strike. Hundley, an infield hit back in the 2nd inning. Popped out to second. Hit into a fielder's choice. And the 1-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll do it again. 1-2 the count. Two and two. The 2-2 pitch. Got him, and the Cardinals take this one and avoid the sweep. St. Louis with win number 39 this year. They're 39-21. Improved to 17-14 on the road. And Tim, the Cardinals now have avoided being swept in 84 straight series of 3 or 4 games. That's incredible.
Last time it happened, we talked about it, July 13, 14, and 15 of 2013.
So,
it's one of the bigger games of the year for the Cardinals to win.
Everything went right. Well, almost everything. Post-game show comes your way next.